his headphones.
Cover my ears a little bit.
As long as there's a breeze. Well, if we were up higher, we'd get more of a breeze. Well, let's go 3 up.
3 up?
3 up. Right here. Right here. Mommy, we're going to go up 3. 1, 2.
Shake.
You are? Well, you probably need something to eat. Scoot
After
down
the
so we
parade,
don't-
I'll get something to
Scoot
eat.
down, please.
I think Mr. Steve's gonna blow, Mom.
Huh?
Mr. Steve's gonna blow his whistle.
Wow. Do you like this?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It technically is still morning for the next 2 or 3 minutes. Thank you all for coming out. I hope everybody's enjoying the annual Shenandoah Valley Steam and Gas Engine Association show. On behalf of that group, I'd like to welcome everyone. We're going to be celebrating 100 years of the steam engine this year. We like to start our parade off each year with the steam engines because that's the first part of our club's name. For those of you who have never been here before, be prepared to cover your ears or the ears of the young ones with
Cover
you.
my ears.
We're going to do a new steam whistle, so it'll get pretty
You sit
loud
next to
here
Mommy.
just a little bit.
No, you have to
And
do it.
then we'll
Well,
start
how am
on
I going to
with the
cover my
parade.
own?
Well, you can't.
Just about a minute.
All right, we got a minute.
No, cover. That whistle.
You hear it still?
Yeah, kind of. That whistle needs. That whistle's kind of
Is that Steve's engine?
All right, we're starting off this year with a 1922. Of course, this is 2022, so this
Yeah, I'm
engine
okay.
is 100 years old. For her birthday, she got a brand new manufactured boiler installed.
Place the boiler.
Just in time to make it back to this year's show.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
Mr.
owned by
Steve
Steve
myself.
Dowell,
With the hat?
Bunker Hill, West Virginia.
Yeah, he's got the hat. He's.
This is a twin-cylinder Frick steam engine. They're probably one of the smoothest operating engines, a very nice engine to operate. This one weighs about 14 tons. Was built in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, and it was rated at 20 horsepower on the drawbar, 60 horsepower on the flywheel. They were typically rated about 1/3 of what they will actually produce. The manufacturers would underrate them because they couldn't guarantee how good a fireman or operator you had at the time. Steve put a lot of effort into bringing this engine all back together, and the family put a good bit of money into it, as you can well imagine. You can't go to the Napa store and buy parts for these things. So we're glad to have it. The engine was named Big Hannah when it was originally bought. Many of these engines had a name that they went by. This one was Big Hannah. So Steve, let's have a whistle there. And that engine's been here since the 1960s. All right, the second one coming in here is a real nice little 1/3 steel model Case steam traction engine. These folks came up from down in Somerset, Virginia. Part of the crew down there that puts on the Somerset Steam and Gas Engine Show.
That's the same
supporter.
weekend as the
folks decide you like these types of shows and want to see more, that's a really nice one to go to. Down in Orange, Virginia, getting down close to Charlottesville. We appreciate all those folks. Also, some of them are from North Carolina that came with that crew up here to help out. So we appreciate them and all the effort that they go to. Glad to have them participate in this show. It's a really sweet little engine. If you get a chance and you haven't been there, please go over by the steam engine and talk to these folks. Next engine here. This is a 1909 Frick Eclipse. This is a cylinder size 9-inch bore, 10-inch stroke. It's owned by the Ireland family, and it's got Matthew. Yeah. Michael, sorry, yeah. They switched up on me. The Ireland family has a couple different engines that they bring here every year. We appreciate them bringing these out and helping us out. Sorry, I was misspoke on this one. This is an 8.5 by 10. It was built in 1916. And it also has been reboilered some years ago. When these steam engine manufacturers built these engines, they really figured that the boilers would be good for about 10 years. And as you well know, it's 100 years later now. Many of them are being reboilered at this point, but many of them are still operating the original. And it all depends on the care and the quality of water that they operated on when they were relatively new. Next unit here is owned by Buddy Hale. This is a 1919 Port Huron steam engine built in Michigan. A little bit unusual engine for this area. It is a compound cylinder engine. If you look at it, it has a small cylinder sticking out in front of a bigger cylinder. And what they did, they admitted the live steam into the small cylinder, and then the valve gearing would exhaust it into the large cylinder and then use it twice. They achieved some efficiency. It was not 100% efficient, but it did use a little bit less water. Very unusual engine for this area. And it's being driven today by Mr. Irvin King. We appreciate all those folks coming down. All right, now we got Matthew Ireland coming in here.
It's Club's engine.
Nope, I'm wrong again. Okay, Mac Stein. This is the Stein family operating a single cylinder Frick engine that's owned by the Shenandoah Valley Steam and Gas Engine Association. This engine has been nicknamed Super Frick. It was restored by Charles Lee Hessler from Haydensville, West Virginia. New boiler installed. Charles reset the valves, did a lot of machine work on it, and after a few years decided he was ready to part with it. So we, as a club, decided to purchase it from him. It's just a little 8 by 10, one of the smaller size traction engines, not the smallest, but one of the smaller size ones that Frick built. But it does a huge amount of work. Just by the way, Charles Lee did a few special things to it. Kind of a trade secret, a hot rodder of sorts when it comes to steam engines. So we appreciate the Stein family coming from the New York, Pennsylvania border, coming down each year to help us operate our equipment. They've been a long time members of the club. Glad to have them here. And moving in front of us now is a nice little 1903 Case. This is a 9 horsepower engine. It's one of the smaller, probably the smallest traction engine that's been built, owned by Brad Kelly, Fredericksburg, Virginia. Also part of the group from down around Orange, Somerset group. He's It's been very faithful coming up and bringing us several units each year. What he has behind him is a case-built tender that carries extra water, extra fuel, and if you take a good look at it, it steers from the front steering of the engine. So as he turns the front wheel, the wheels under that little tender wagon also turn, and you don't have to do anything special when you're backing it up. It will track right behind the engine as you go forward. There you go. And then when you go to back it up, it tracks right behind it again. Makes it very simple to operate. Cute little engine. Appreciate you bringing it out, Brad. Thank you very much.